Channel 2 News Daybreak. This is breaking news.
8 o'clock on your Tuesday morning. We're live and local. The breaking news: a man with serious injuries after being shot at 12th and Calumet. Police now searching for a suspect, saying they have a good description, but they're not releasing that description just yet.
Also breaking this morning, Denver authorities in the midst of a homeless encampment cleanup at 22nd and Champa. This is a live look from Sky 2 right now as residents get a chance to vote on homeless resources funding. We'll talk more about that later in the show.
And right now we're tracking Colorado's major wildfires as crews slowly gain ground while trying to contain the fires and keep homes safe.
And right now, CU Boulder is stepping up measures to stop the spread of COVID-19 after students were spotted at large parties without social distancing.
And if you have the free Channel 2 News app, you already got this push alert. Could we break a record today, a record for heat? 98 the forecast, bad air quality. The one guy who might know, it's not Drew, not me, it's Chris Tomer, best in the business. Look at that air conditioner blowing overtime, Chris.
I know, it's been doing that for a long time. Drew and Chris today near that record. Again, this is the same kind of pattern. So 98 my forecast, the record today is 99. We could easily make it there. As far as air quality goes, well, we lost the contours, but we are in the heavy and extreme air quality again of smoke. So the smoke will be with us again here today. What about rain chances? Well, this is our futurecast. I'll roll this out, and as I'll stop it at 3, so you can see the storms on the board at 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There's a few. It's about a 10 to 20% risk, but I don't think we're going to get any huge rains here today, and then it goes dry into tomorrow. Here's the hour by hour. 98, my forecast high, along with hazy, smoky air conditions. And now in the coming days, we have better chances of rain, which will cool the temperatures down. I'll look at those coming up in a few minutes. Ken, though, out to you for a look at the time saver.
That is some good news, Chris. Right now, we're off in the Lakewood area, east along 6th Avenue. The only crash, you can see it right at the top of the screen there, above the word traffic. It's off in the right lane. Getting out of this far right lane and moving over into the center lane is what you need to do if you're in that area. But if you're coming in, very few slowdowns. Metro Denver has only seen a few issues, and the major problems are just in the way of delays across 25, getting better as you get up closer to 6. Now, downtown Denver, we've been covering this, the homeless sweep taking place down along 22nd in and around Broadway over to Stout. You are going to find some lanes blocked as a result. And so, Drew, but access into downtown still looks good.
All right, Ken, this is something that you were talking about yesterday morning. Right now, as we track the wildfires here in Colorado, I-70 is still open this morning after it reopened yesterday for the first time after closing earlier this month because of the Grizzly Creek fire east of Glenwood Springs. The fire has now burned nearly 31,000 acres. It's now 33% contained. That number on the rise, so some good news there. And later, some drone video of nearby Hanging Lake. We're going to show that to you. The ranger shared that with us, and some damage to the trail as well. And you're looking at new time-lapse video from Williams Fork Fire. That's near Fraser. This fire has burned just over 11,000 acres since it started on August 14th. It's only 3% contained. And eerie new photos of the Cameron Peak Fire. Where I came from, Larimer County, that's where I was born and raised. These fires from Mountain View Fire Rescue, from a captain who's serving as the task force leader for engines from all over the state, including West Metro, South Metro, Berthoud, Piedmont, and Aspen. They're really trying to get a hold of that fire. Evacuation still in place for the Cameron Peak Fire. The specifics are in the free KWGN app. The fire has burned more than 20,000 acres and unfortunately zero containment this morning. The state's largest wildfire is the Pine Gulch Fire just north of Grand Junction. It's now burned more than 134,000 acres, just 4,000 short of the largest fire in Colorado history. That was the Hayman Fire at about 138,000 acres. And the Pine Gulch Fire now 47% contained. Chris, that number on the rise, so some good news, but that's a big fire near Grand Junction.
Those images are just incredible, Drew. Well, right now, Erie police and a worried mom are asking for your help to find 14-year-old Skylar Latore, who was last seen at 9:30 on August the 16th. Take a look at the pictures. Her mom says she's scared Skylar might be in danger. She was last seen wearing a black hoodie with shorts and a white trim. She may be wearing glasses. If you see this photo and something clicks in your brain, you might recognize her, you know where she might be, you're asked to call police. Here at 8:04, getting our universities open again has been a real struggle. Now the question is, can we keep our universities open? Take a look at these photos. There's a real concern up there at CU Boulder after students appear to be ignoring social distancing guidelines and recommendations.
That's right, Channel 2's Jim Hooley. He lives out there in Boulder. And he's got more information on COVID-19 tests for all students. They're also trying to crack down on those parties Chris was talking about.
Yeah, Drew, the kids are back at school now. They just started classes yesterday, came back onto the campus last week. That's why you see all the signs all over saying protect our herd. That has all the guidelines on there, all the health guidelines that the students are supposed to be following. But obviously that is not the case. Here's what's happening up here right now. The school now is setting up testing sites immediately near all the dorms on the campus. Students will give saliva samples every week. That will be a requirement. The testing will be free. The university says it's picking up the tab. But this move comes now after these images emerged from the past weekend. Students gathering in large groups and partying on Boulder's University Hill with the restaurants and the bars there and on the campus as well.
Students patronize businesses. These students interact with the city and county of Boulder. There was such a lack of care and such a lack of responsibility.
Now, CU issued this statement about the mass gathering, saying we are incredibly disappointed by the gatherings that occurred over the past weekend that did not adhere to the public health orders. Large gatherings, especially without face coverings and adequate distancing, are unacceptable, frankly, unlawful. So far, CU Boulder is reporting 16 positive cases here by the testing done by their medical services. So this immediate testing, it will begin immediately for students living on the campus in the dorms here. But so far, and this is a bit of a twist here, students living off campus are not required to be tested. Live up in the CU Boulder campus, I'm Jim Hooley, Channel 2 News.
Boy, it's a whole chain of events that really, students off campus, they come on campus for class, right? Even if you live off campus. So what do you do with that?
Be interesting to see. In Ohio State, they had over 200 students they suspended because of partying. So we'll have to see how CU Boulder reacts to that. Thanks for the update there, Jim.
Jim was the kind of student, he never messed around. Why can't all students be like Jim Hooley, straight and narrow?
Yeah, right.
Now back to our fires. Look at this fire. It's actually in Wisconsin. This is not a wildfire. This is a fire that protesters set off in response to the shooting of Jacob Blake, the unarmed man who was shot in front of his kids. Riots have erupted in several cities in response to the shooting. It happened earlier this week in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Initial cell phone video was posted online showing officers shooting Blake as he leaned into an SUV. New video of a different angle shows Blake in a scuffle with officers first before they try to pull him back and prevent him from reaching in the car. Police say they tried to use a taser, but that didn't work. They were responding to a domestic violence call at the time. At last check, Blake was in serious condition. His family saying this morning he may be paralyzed from the waist down. Meantime, in Denver, a couple hundred people gathered yesterday at a park outside Manual High School to try and call attention to the shootings. Organizers describe it as a night of prayer and action to protect black men in response to Blake's shooting. A veteran and Black Lives Matter activist in Colorado Springs says officers need to be trained like the military for de-escalation.
It's either the training's not there or it's either they don't care. Those are literally the only two options. And like just myself as a combat veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan, I know standards, I know escalation of force, and it's kind of mind-boggling when you see time and time again that there's no accountability for this.
And time now 8:08. We are live and local in the 8 o'clock hour of Channel 2 Daybreak with how to pandemic-proof your budget, with tips on how to navigate lowering your bills and how you can make money working from home. And we're following breaking news this morning as Laura, now a hurricane, heads towards the Gulf Coast when it could make landfall.
Yeah, we'll check that out here in a minute. And back here in Colorado, better chances of rain coming in later this week. Look at Saturday. A lot of green on the board, even over Denver. Look at that forecast coming up.
Channel 2 Daybreak, weekdays on Channel 2 News.